Oh, hello everybody. This is going to be this will tell you how old I am. This is going to be, I'm sure, a generational thing. Um, well, I won't go back that far, but let's say, um, a while back, I saw a guy, some kid about 26 or 7, holding a sign saying, "I'll work for food." So, I really didn't have any work, but I figured, what the hell. So I said, okay, I said, uh, I'll get you some lunch. Um, so anyway, so stupid me, I bring him back to the house and we talk, and the terrible hard life this kid's lived. At the time, he was living, sleeping in a sleeping bag under a crawl space under a house. But anyway, so I gave him something to eat and gave him $30 and sent him on his way. Um, Mainly because he smelled so bad. But anyway, so I had a couple of my friend Mark said he's seen him around town since then a couple of times. So today I had a couple cancellations on one of my barbecues. Now I have a barbecue almost every day now. Well, as soon as the weather turns nice, then I practically live out back, and I don't know. I think I've done a couple of videos on my area out back. It's totally surrounded by maybe at least 10 and in some cases 20, 30 or more feet of bamboo. And it's a 4-level deck right in the center of this bamboo. And it has a nice, I don't know, 14 by 14 deck with a complete roof over it. Then it has, you go up 15 steps and it has like a lookout tower, and then it has a couple other levels. And we've got running water, refrigeration, and all that out there. But it's very secluded and you can't see it. From the road, it looks like just a giant clump of bamboo, but I'm sure you've seen it. Anybody that's looked at my videos. But anyway, so as soon as the weather changes, then I outfit the place out there, being we got running water and everything, and refrigeration, and so I have a barbecue. I have a barbecue almost every day, except when it rains, and and one of the neighbors comes over a couple of times a week, and then my other friends. Anyway, so I had a couple cancellations, and I had already made the food up. So I thought, well, let me call this, because the kid gave me his number, hoping I'd have work for him. But he's his clothes smell so bad. On the way back, it was really cold that day. I just left the windows open and aired the thing out. So I call him up, and I said, "Would you like to come up for lunch?" Because I had a couple cancellations, and what the hell's I don't like leftovers. I usually give them to the dog, but I couldn't give him stuff today because I had put fresh onions in it, and onions are you're never to give a dog onions. But aside from that, so so the kid, I go down, I pick him up at the mall, bring him up here. First thing he does is he plugs in his phone, and then he shows up without he's got a backpack but doesn't have a shirt on, and he's the skinniest thing you ever saw, and he's tattooed from his neck to his waist and has some stupid thing across his knuckles, and on the palm of his hand he's got a big marijuana leaf. And, I mean, it's just the kid has such bad luck, but he brings it on mostly on himself. That's not the point. I don't know why I'm going on like this, but the first thing he does, of course, is he says, "Is there a plug out here?" And I said, "Yeah, they're right over there," because he noticed I had electricity because I had the refrigerator and so forth. And he plugs his phone in, and what's he do? He sits there and starts texting like fucking nothing else exists. You know, on the way there, I said to him, I said, "There's a glazed donut." I'd come from shopping earlier in the day and I bought 2 glazed donuts, and I knew I shouldn't have eaten one of them, let alone two. And they're these big long twisty things, that that are too many calories and too much sugar for a type 2 that I am. So I said, you can eat that. And he said, oh no, not before I eat. It'll upset my stomach, you know. And so I said, okay, fine. Said then you can have it after you eat. Well, I call a couple friends up and I tell them, you know, when the food's going to be on. So I put it up, heated it up. The whole time he's texting on the fucking phone. Now my point is there anybody outside of my generation that still thinks this is fucking rude as hell? You know, I'll have my other friends over and some of them are in their 50s and they sit down. The first thing he's doing is looking something fucking up on Google or finding out the weather or finding out the price of silver or some shit. When I got a television right there, all he's got to do is turn the fucking channel and sits there. And instead of communicating to me, he thinks he's visiting. He ain't visiting because he's on the fucking phone. He's visiting the fucking phone. All right. Now, as I'm saying, I'd like a bunch of comments to tell me if it's only because I'm some old fuddy-duddy that thinks that these fucking things have a place in society, but it ain't when you visit somebody. You know, even Trey comes in. First thing Trey does after he gets himself something to drink and something to eat is start texting. And he's sitting there and then when I give him something to work to do, he's not doing anything for 2 fucking minutes. And man, somebody calls him and of course he's got to answer. And I said, why don't you tell him just to call you the fuck up and discuss whatever you're going to discuss and get it the fuck over with? No, instead they text back and forth and you're paying them for an hour's work and you get 20 minutes work and you get 40 minutes worth of texting. Now this not only is rude, but it's fucking highway robbery. Now, John, my other, one of my good friends, does the same thing. Mark will come in and he'll sit there for 2 minutes and his phone's always fucking ringing. And then he'll just try to talk, but then you know he's looking down and he's texting. Now, when you go to somebody's to eat or something, shut this fucking thing off. Now, especially if it's an older person, because they just don't get it. If you come to visit them, then visit them. If they invite you to dinner, then eat dinner. You know, then go back and take care of your texting. All right, now that end this little tirade here. So the kid, I said after dinner, I said, if you want, I said you can go get that glazed donut. He says, I already put it in my backpack. But please leave a comment and let me know if I'm just an old fuddy-duddy or whether these goddamn things should be set down and they should never be allowed at a fucking dinner table, or if you go to visit somebody, you visit them. You don't visit whoever's on the other end of these fucking things.